Welcome to the Kewaunee Lighthouse. I wanted to come out here and show you what our plans are, what our hopes are for the 2025 season. In 2024, we started working on sealing out the water from the foundation. And that entailed welding a metal band around the perimeter between the steel that coats this level and the concrete foundation below us. This season, we are hoping to seal off the rest of it. And what that entails is 4 main parts. And we're going to step outside here in a minute and show you what that looks like, and then go down in the basement and show you what that looks like too. The first part is we have 4 openings on the foundation level that are going to be sealed with concrete blocks. The second part is there's some areas where the concrete has broken away from the foundation. Those areas are going to be repaired with hydraulic concrete. The third piece is what's called mastic. That's basically the tar that seals the base joint between the actual vertical foundation and the pier. And then the last part is the entire foundation is going to have a 2-part epoxy coating applied to it that is going to be color matched to what we have now. And that's going to kind of seal everything else out. Before we step outside, I wanted to mention what our tour schedule looks like for the season. We are having a couple special events for the June Door County Maritime Museum Passport Festival, Lighthouse Passport Festival. On Friday, I'm going to be downtown Kewaunee giving an evolution of fog signals demonstration that'll show you some of the signals that would have been used throughout time to warn mariners in fog. You'll actually be able to hear some of those signals, scaled down, smaller versions, but you'll be able to hear them yourself. Then on Saturday, we're going to be offering harbor walking tours. Those start at the Grandfather Clock, downtown Kewaunee, and you'll walk along the harbor and stop at a couple points of interest on the way, including the Tug Ludington. You'll also be able to tour the Kewaunee Fire Museum, which is not normally open to the public, so that's a really cool opportunity. And then after that, you'll walk down the pier and get a full bottom-to-top tour of the lighthouse. So if either of those 2 events interest you, go to our website and you can purchase tickets there. If you're unable to make either of those dates, the following weekend will be open for public tours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then a couple dates throughout the summer beyond that. So if you are unable to make the June tours, check out our website and see if there's another tour that maybe you can check out. Let's head outside and I'll show you the openings that need to be bricked up, the spalling concrete, and the base joint. Those are the 3 big things. And then obviously the epoxy is going to go over the top of all that. So let's head outside and take a look at that. It's a little windy out today. Here you can see the foundation band that was installed last year. And then here are the 2 really problematic openings that we're going to be working on sealing up. Down here you can see that the base concrete is broken away, and you'll see what this looks like from the inside in a few minutes here. So this opening and the opening over there are going to get sealed with that concrete block that I mentioned. This is the base joint that I was talking about. The black stuff in there, that's called mastic, and that had contained asbestos until it was removed a few years ago. We'll go back over here and take a look at some of the areas of the foundation that I was mentioning that were kind of broken. Here. These are the other 2 openings that are going to be sealed. This is where the big fuel oil tanks were installed before the pier was widened. We'll explain that in just a second as well. Let's take a walk to the lake side of the lighthouse. The wind really kicked up here within the last couple hours, so it might be a little difficult to hear me. I want to mention, while I'm over here, I want to mention these kind of imperfections in the walls, like right there, and right here, kind of right in front of my shadow there. When the lighthouse was built, here's another one. When the lighthouse was built, the pier was only as wide as the building. Get out of the wind a little bit. When the lighthouse was built, the pier was just as wide as the building. So where we are standing right now, this would have been in the water. And I'll pop a picture up on the screen now so that you can see what I'm talking about. In 1965, the Corps of Engineers came out and they drove these sheet metal pilings in, reinforced the gap between, and then filled everything with concrete. I'll take a step back, and I'll pop another picture up on the screen that shows what that looked like as it was happening. If you notice, the lighthouse kind of has a lip on the outer edge of that original pier. And what happens is, without this mastic down there, water goes down this crack and kind of pools on the base of that original 1911 pier and flows into the lighthouse. That's one of the big things that we're going to be addressing, is water intrusion in the basement. You can see that gap is pretty decent. We'll head back inside and take you downstairs. This area is normally off limits to pretty much all of our visitors, but today you'll get a special look inside. These blue tape markers on the floor here show the location and the rough diameter of the two big fuel oil tanks in the basement. The fuel oil tank starts right here and it goes all the way to that back wall. And there's two of them. So if we go downstairs, you'll see that tank. Those tanks, I should say. There's one. There's the other. Now, if we look at a picture of the lighthouse when it was, before the pier was widened, you'll notice that the pier is made up of pockets. And these are those pockets. This is one of them. There's another. And then there are a few more headed back behind. So the lighthouse is set on top of 5 of these pockets. Now if we go step over, it's really muddy down here. If we step over, this is one of those openings. You can actually see daylight coming through pretty decent. The other one's back there. I'm not going to be able to climb back there, but that's what it looks like. These are these other 2 openings that I was mentioning under the entrance deck. So you see we've got the plate steel, and then we've got concrete. So what we're looking at is where that concrete starts. That's the original pier level. So pre-1965, that would have been at grade of the pier. They cut these two openings sometime possibly right before they capped the pier and slid these fuel oil tanks in. And then they replaced the concrete. Now this concrete is at grade again. So these openings will be filled with blocks as well. We don't have any issues here, but we would like to get all these openings sealed while we're working. Now I'd like to show you, you can see here, down here, this is the pier, and this is the lighthouse. So the lighthouse more or less just rests on top of the pier. And then, like I mentioned, that water gets underneath, pools on that lip, and flows into the building. This repair is looking to cost us about $17,000. We had originally applied for a grant earlier this year. I'll spin this around. It's not very high in here. Standing there. We had originally applied for a grant to cover hopefully at least half of this repair. Unfortunately, we didn't receive the grant. Please consider donating and sharing this video to help us get the word out about what we're up to. You can donate at www.KewauneePierheadLighthouse.org/donate. We also accept donations via our Venmo profile, which is set up as a charity profile. We also accept donations via PayPal. Or if you'd like to mail a check, that address is P.O. Box 23, Kewaunee, Wisconsin, 54216. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.